Hi, I'm Cassandra Faurote, CEO and founder of Total Reward Solutions. Today, I want to talk to you about the subject of living wage and this thing called a benefits cliff. The living wage in the state of Indiana for a single adult is $20.81 an hour. And living wage simply means enough wages to cover the basics. And we're talking here about housing, we're talking about food, and we're talking about taxes. So the basics doesn't even include clothing. And then we have this thing called the benefits cliff. So, what's the benefits cliff? Well, that's a situation where a small increase in a person's income can cause them to lose public assistance benefits, leaving them financially worse off than they were before they perhaps got an increase. And so, here's kind of how it works there are eligibility caps, which are often determined by a person's income. And when the income rises slightly, it could make the person or the family ineligible for some very important benefits that they rely on. The loss of those benefits could basically mean that they no longer can meet their basic needs. And it can be a career disincentive because the fear of losing benefits can discourage employees from seeking higher pay, working more hours, or even advancing in their careers. So, what are some examples of these effective benefits? Well, the first one is SNAP, which of course helps with food costs, and just a small increase in earnings can cause a loss of these benefits. And then there's Medicaid. If they earn too much and they therefore no longer qualify for Medicaid, then they may struggle to afford private health care coverage. And we have child care subsidies. Losing those subsidies could cause a large cost burden and more than the pay raise provides. And we all know that affordable child care is critical for parents to work. And then finally, there's housing assistance, which can have a major impact, particularly in areas with high housing costs. If they lose their housing vouchers or other housing subsidies, it could really affect their living situation. So I challenge employers to ensure that you are providing at least the minimum living wage to your employees in the county in which you have employees. You can quickly Google that information to find out what it is for each particular county. And if you have employees that are close to this living minimum wage, before you give them an increase, you might check to see if this is going to affect their benefits. And if they lose benefits, is the increase enough to cover what they're going to have to replace by losing those benefits? We provide compensation consulting services, and if we can ever be of help to you, please give us a call 317 589 8529. Thank you.